Good afternoon from PAX West. We are back here in person, trackside, getting set for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship Cup 2022. That's right, this is not your Grandpappy Special Cup here. We are getting set to bring you 12 of the top racers, 8 courses, 1 champion. Welcome in, I'm Jordan Kent, and joining me, we have one of the fastest men in the pit stops here, EE, and a man that is no stranger to the checkered flag bear. And EE, let's get started with you. What are you excited to see? We have so much talent on display here today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, if you talk to a lot of the players and just some of the fans, like Strike is definitely one of the favorites coming into this to obviously take the whole thing, right? Just so much talent we've amassed at this competition. But for me, there's a wild card pick I would like to go with. My man Bowser, he qualified here by winning the PAX Arena. He's won on a stage like this before. He feels very comfortable playing in front of a live crowd in that kind of environment. I think just seeing how these players adapt, the differences from online to offline is really what's going to be telling about this whole event.
And Bear, we're looking at so much skill on display here.
Definitely.
Where do we find the separation between these 12? Because it's going to be chaotic.
So it really depends on every course, but in reality, you want to make sure that you have the perfect lines, go as fast as you can. But if you're not, you want to be really strategic with your items. So you're going to have a lot of good item play. People have to have great course awareness of the mini-map, and then that's going to make or break for a lot of these races.
Well, let's buckle our seatbelts and take a look at the rules here today. As we've mentioned, we've got 12 racers, 8 courses, 1 champion. Most points after 8 races wins. Seems pretty simple to me. 150cc. This is the way that we're doing it here. Normal items, all vehicles. Smart steering off. Yes, you have to have your license ready to go here for this one. And let's go ahead and check out these courses. These were selected by the racers, and this will be in a predetermined order after a random draw. You see 2 courses from each of these 4 following cups here. And starting with this here, Bear, obviously the courses will play a huge role in the strategy race after race.
Yeah, especially given that every single one of these courses are derived from all the retro courses, but the tour courses themselves, I'm very excited because these all have different variations of their specific Mario Kart Tour courses all on one track. And given that a lot of these courses have great comeback factor, you're definitely going to see some chaotic racing going on.
You hear the round of applause for our racers as they get set, and EE, obviously it's Mario Kart.
Yes.
Items play a tremendous role in your success. You can say it isn't 100% skill. You sometimes need a little bit of luck, and there will be some gamemanship going on as far as when these racers decide to get their items.
I mean, honestly, obviously skill is a big factor to any, game you play at a competitive level, right? Mario Kart being no exception, but the fact that items can, at any given point, really kind of swing the game back into your favor, right? It can really determine, you can be leading for 2 laps right there in that first place, and then somebody just out of nowhere, man, that shiny blue shell, spiky blue shell can really disrupt a lot that's going on. I was talking to my man Bear about that. He says he can't count the number of times he's been in first place. It's all looking good, and then just boom, in an instant it's done.
Yeah, you got to be in first place to get hit by the spiny shell.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
Look, it's the way. It's basically rewarding you for being so good at the game. It's a nice little present, nice little spiny shell present for you to get hit by.
So going along with that, we're going to be keeping our eye on 3 different levels of this race. Obviously, you have your front runners, and there's a strategy that goes with racing in first place because you have to be very defensive.
Yeah, front runners really they're probably phenomenal at doing time trials, so they really know their lines, they really know their course. They're going to hold defensive items as much as possible, get that distance, and then you're going to have these mid-pack racers who like to play second, third, fourth, really play with second, third, fourth to hit out first, and then take it over on the final lap to make sure they get first place. It's a weird little kind of honor code you have with second place as third place. You don't hit them. That way you can hit first place. Then you have the chaotic people that are going to be in the back of the pack who may be just.
Is that chaotic neutral or chaotic good?
No, it's chaotic. It's chaotic good, but they'll probably pull really powerful items because the most powerful items in games do not spawn until 30 seconds into the game itself for every course, but also 9th and 12th, they're going to have the most powerful items, and the way that they use them will make or break them.
They're getting set for the very first race here, as we mentioned, 8 races. As far 8 races on these courses here, of course, you've got 12 racers. And how about G&B 75 from New York City? What do we know about him here, Bear? What has you excited about watching him race today?
He is one of the most chaotic players I've played with, but also he was letting me know that he could probably alternate between different characters, so I'm curious to know what he decides to be on there, and solid racing overall for what I've seen from him.
As we said, we're getting set for this very first course here, this first race. Yummy Bagel here, and we've talked about a lot of these different racers here. We have a Wario with Mr. Scooty, as we like to say the joke, there's no holes in his game here.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering if you're going to bring that one up.
No,
yes,
I had to go early with it.
I mean, again, you look at all the racers that we have present, yes, they're from all walks of life, all over the planet. It's so good to see, but the one thing they all have in common, obviously, just solidified in their gameplay, how they play in front of this live crowd is definitely the thing that's going to be the most standout for me.
And then, Bear, how about Adam, one of the heavy favorites potentially?
Adam is a phenomenal racer, very, very fast, very well lines. I've raced with Adam multiple different times, and every time I've raced with him, it's a pure pleasure because it's a fight to the finish, and we're going to see a wonderful race from them.
Obviously, lots of competition around Adam. Brings us to our next racer, Strike from the Northwest, Boise, Idaho, and looking at Strike, also another favorite, and one of those Waluigis with the bitty buggy here, EE.
Let me tell you something. I talked to Strike. I asked him, how are you feeling about this competition? What are you going to bring to the table? He says, I'm not leaving the stage without first place. That's all you need to know about him.
After Strike, yes, the horn does work on the hat, by the way. We tested it out earlier. We have Mankalore from Columbus, Ohio here, Bear.
Yeah, Mankalore is very well known for bringing very powerful items up front, so we're going to probably see a little bit of chaos from them. Great racing overall.
After Mankalore, we move on to our next racer, Riding My Pidgey. Not quite yet a Pidgeotto, it's all right, but from Las Vegas. Obviously, he's done very well, very competitive scene. We continue to move down the line, and how about Bowser from Quincy, Massachusetts? A little bit of a holler here. You got a double point right there, EE.
I told you, that is the wild card pick. He's been on this stage, he's won on this stage, and he's very confident in his Mario Karting abilities as well. I think that makes him an extremely dangerous pick.
Then the very experienced LA Cruiser from SoCal, top down from Compton, California. Bear, you have to love what he brings to the table.
LA Cruiser brings a wonderful energy, and he's going to be our token person using inside drifting bike, which is basically like Mario Kart Wii.
Moving along here, it's Adrian from Tijuana, Mexico, crossing the border over here to get ready to race, and obviously another very solid racer for Adrian. Looking forward to seeing what they can do. And then Cozy Fog right here. Home track advantage from Redmond, Washington. Cozy Fog, DK, and the Bitty Buggy. Solid racer as well. Still rounding out our 12 racers here as we continue to make our way and get set for the very first course here in just a second. And really with all of these here, Bear, they have so much experience racing against one another over the past couple of days here. They've had a chance to really build a really nice rapport.
Yeah, a lot of them have been racing together, warming up, really getting to know each other. It's nice to see Anya as well, representing Montreal, Quebec. Very solid racer overall. We're going to see some really good driving from them. I've raced them before. Wonderful person.
As we mentioned, a lot of talent on display. It won't be the same build for everybody, and that'll be exciting. It won't just be Waluigi on the Wiggler for the most part. And then we have G1989 from Vancouver, BC. Our only Roy racer, but also very talented on the Mr. Scooty.
Oh, 100%. It's nice to see yet again, that representation from just all over. Got a couple members from Canada, obviously some representation for Mexico as well. NA all around, just an incredible talent pool. You got the little introductions right there. Little introductions, but big-time gameplay awaits. Mankalore, I see you squeezing the hat. I see that. He couldn't wear it right now because of how he obviously has to wear the headset. But yes, that accompanies him every single place he goes.
Our 12 racers are getting set to start their engines. Our very first course, though, will be Sydney Sprint. You love this one, Bear.
I absolutely love this course. This is one of the most phenomenal, best courses they've added into the DLC. This debuted in 2021 in Mario Kart Tour. It's going to have two of the variations of the course combined, and the final lap, you're actually going to be going reverse of the Sydney Sprint. And one fun fact on this specific course itself is that in the Mario Kart Tour version, the trains, the toads, they throw actually mushrooms, bananas, and bombs. But in here, they change it just to coins, so it's not as chaotic.
It's nice they toss those coins. That inflation's real here, EE. And as they get set for Sydney Sprint, really, it's a mid-pack course here, EE, meaning you're not going to necessarily hang out and bag in the rear end and collect powerful items because you've got to make sure you stay close to the leader.
Well, I mean, it's quick, it's fast, and it's right to the point, right? This is kind of one of those reasons you like a course like this because you know you're going to get a lot of action right out of the gate. Obviously, queuing up right now. We have the countdown. We have our first race, and we are ready to go.
And they are off. Here it is, the very first course in our Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship Cup 2022. You see G&B 75, Bagel, Strike, and Jet, and already Strike falling to 12th here, Bear.
You know what? You got to make a comeback, okay? This is a great comeback course. You can't give up. It only really matters about the final lap.
Mankalore in third. A lot of traffic in this bunch right here. LA Cruiser, your bottom right. Red Shell ready to roll. But how about Bowser, bottom left? Has that mushroom here. EE certainly can utilize that here soon.
Absolutely going to be looking to strike. As Bear said, comebacks are absolutely very prevalent on a stage like this. No reason to get discouraged in those opening rounds for sure. You see just taking control right now. First place though belonging to my man Adam, just holding it down.
Adam, without an item at the current moment, is able to avoid the red shell. And then here is Mankalore in second. Mushroom with the boomerang on deck, making their way through the park. Excellent lines here, Bear, because you have to be careful. It looks like we had a little bit of a collision against the wall.
Yeah, indeed. And also, Mankalore will likely... he actually used the mushroom, but most of the person in first place, this is actually critical. Having first place with the mushroom gives you the opportunity to dodge the spiny shell. So whoever's in first will likely hold on to that as long as they can.
And EE, look at how frequently they're checking their mirrors. Obviously, you love that during your driver's license
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little disoriented just looking at that, but for these guys, it's just another day at the office, and you have to do that. Just understanding everybody's on your tail, and that lightning could be a big turnaround. You see N trying to make a play to kind of get a little bit out of there. Here comes Adrian.
And Adrian dodged that lightning, was able to pull up in a mushroom, put the cut here, and is probably going to go for the double item box for protection.
Final lap. We see Riding My Pidgey in 8th, Mankalore in 3rd, LA Cruiser in 8th, trying to make their way 15 points for first place. It will be chaotic down the stretch here, but bomb going off. And still hanging out in the back, but it is Strike in first, Red Shell coming, Green Shell defense, Strike. Almost there, just has to make this turn.
Oh, this is tough. This
with
is tough.
G&B coming right behind. Is it going to be Strike or G&B? Quick look at Yummy Bagel. Red Shell ready to go. Strike. Just a few more turns here, Bear.
This is a solid one. He's solid one overall. Nice little finish there. Got really lucky, but G&B did not throw the Red Shell forward, given that he was defenseless. But overall, solid racing from Strike there. Nice finish. G&B was second. Bowser with in third place and in fourth. Again, if you didn't get top 4, it's not over. You have 7 more races. It's all about your point placement in the races itself.
Strike, an excellent job hanging out in first. And EE, of course, when you look back, when you are that front runner, you have to make sure you have a defensive item to protect your rear side.
I mean, just the fact that he put himself in such a sensational position, just getting that first place and able to just hold it down. You mentioned the item play, like the item control, being able to hold on to those when you're most going to need them. Yes, being able to deflect all of the opposition coming at you is very, very important. Strike doing a master class at that to take that first course.
Also, Bear, I love the strategy. In second place, you have to make sure that you aren't being too aggressive. You got to protect your second place because those are 12 crucial points in this whole scheme.
Yeah, ultimately, like that's probably the reason why that second place threw the red shell. Even though optimally they probably should have thrown it forward because it would have hit first place on glider. But sometimes you just got to keep your point system when it comes to the Grand Prix overall because it's the difference. 3 points can make or break the whole standings for itself in the Grand Prix.
Let's go ahead and check out the standings after our first race. Strike with 15 points, G&B 75 with 12, and there's your boy EE Bowser getting 10 points in third place. But as we mentioned, anything can happen, and as we get set for our very next course here, SNES Mario Circuit 3. I mean, this is where I got my Mario Kart license 30 plus years ago here, Bear. Getting a chance to now do this in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, what's the strategy for so many of these racers?
So this specific course is the ideal bagging course, which is basically, we're going to see half of the racers are going to hold back, try to get the most powerful items they can, because you have a great comeback factor here. And if you were in the back, the thing is an 8th Grand Prix, if you finish last, so the bottom 6, it's actually an advantage for them, so they can kind of hang back, farm their items, try to make or break the last lap and a half. And the biggest thing for them is they're going to go for boxes and coins so they can go faster.
And this is a really good point you bring up because EE, coin management plays a huge role. As you know, you get 10 coins, you're going to be moving as fast as you possibly can, but you want to make sure you're still collecting coins to prevent the opposition from getting any faster.
Oh, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, you understand, yes, you want to keep yours in full, right? To get that extra additional speed for sure. But being able to cut off another additional resource for an opponent is huge, especially, when you see this field, how evenly matched a lot of these guys are. Sure, you'll have some guys who create some separation just naturally, maybe a little bit more skilled. But honestly, we said it all the time, items play such a huge part. You've got to know every little aspect.
And Bear, what I love is mushrooms are so powerful on this course. There are so many different areas where you can save some time by just cutting some corners.
Oh, absolutely. It's gonna be wild. If you have a golden mushroom in this course, you are, sorry to be ironic, you're golden.
Nothing wrong with being ironic here. All right, here we go. SNES Mario Circuit 3. Strike was our winner last race. Let's see if you can repeat. Obviously, this will be a fast and frantic race, and already you see a little bit of a strategy to go backwards here, Bear.
We already see about 4 people that are going backwards. They're holding back. Actually, 6 right now.
Wow.
It's going to be insane. Yeah, just you want to keep an eye on who will grab lightning and who's going to grab an item to dodge that lightning.
This is clearly not a Black Friday sale. Nobody in a hurry to get out there, and already we're taking a look at Strike in 11th and Yummy Bagel in 12th, hanging out there with those 3 mushrooms. But of course, there's a lot of ground you can cover with those mushrooms. G&B 75, but now we cut into Adrian with the star and a couple of mushrooms here. EE gonna eat up some ground.
Honestly, for like the casual observer, you're probably so confused at just what just took place, but really it just, I mean seriously, it just makes so much more sense though when you realize the kind of items they're trying to gain access to and how this track itself does tend to play out. So really making some bold decisions, but we're seeing N right now in an elite position, got that first place on lock.
How safe is this lead here, Bear, for N?
Not safe. Not safe. You're in first place to the last lap of this course. You really have to make distance. So it is. Here we go. Whoever used lightning, 4 people.